I don't share much about PeopleRain with our community, but I'm going to break protocol. PeopleRain is the product version of the ethos behind this great Team Human community. Our team is passionate about giving the next billion employees back 4 to 6 hours of productive time per week. Hundreds of organizations around the world trust PeopleRain to automate work because it's the safest, most trustworthy, and smartest way to automatically execute thousands of common IT and HR tasks. Consider it the antidote to AI that's either creepy or that poses a threat to human jobs. I'm hosting a live webcast where I will show a demo of agentic AI in action. Register for the webcast at peoplerain.io. That's people, reign like the reign of a queen or king.io. Now back to this week's amazing episode.
Yo, it's the future, don't hit the snooze. AI is here giving humans the boost. Team Humans rolling, brains in the game with Dan Turchin. Y'all remember the name. People reign in the mix, no stopping the flow. Better work, better life, yeah, we're ready to go. Robots and humans, a collab, you know. Okay, let's start the show.
XD, absolutely a pleasure to meet you in person. We're recording this live on the floor of HumanX, and I've so been looking forward to introducing the AI and the future of work community to you. Share a little bit about your journey leading up to Zoom and what you're focused on these days.
Thank you, Dan. It's great to be here meeting with you in person. I joined Zoom about 3 years ago. I'm excited with the opportunity ahead of us. Zoom is a leading international brand, well recognized in almost every corner of the world. And that is really where the conversation starts. We hosted conversation for almost every country. Now we're on a mission. We help people complete work from the conversation to completion. So in single term, C2C, not to B, not to C. C2C is what we're trying to transform the company from hosting meetings to complete work. So this is the year of completion, in my opinion. Agentic AI reached the point we can really enhance productivity from conversation to completion.
There aren't many companies that can say that they changed the world. Zoom got a lot of the world through the pandemic. It is not hyperbole. How do you think about the responsibility that you have, given the sheer volume and the importance of what you do in terms of global impact?
Yeah. 3 years ago, before I joined Zoom, I spent 30 years working at Microsoft. That's really a long time. My last job was Azure AI CTO and the tech fellow in charge of all the Microsoft AI services. So the last major product I helped to ship was Azure OpenAI Services. I see the power of the frontier AI services that is coming to change the world. Microsoft also really worked hard to deliver that capability in Microsoft Teams. I believe that was one of the top priority for Microsoft to compete with or against Zoom. So Zoom is always really in the frontier role. After I joined Zoom, I have personal witnesses. The founder, Eric, is a true leader with conviction, passion. He did the first C. Now he's leading to change from C, the last first C, to the second C. So I'm very impressed with the whole experience the company is going through. So I believe because of the founder leadership, the transformation is going to be absolutely within our reach.
Well, he's lucky to have you on the journey, and you're lucky to be part of his journey.
I'm lucky to be here surrounded by great people. We have many, many fantastic leaders. So I'm very proud to be part of the team.
The best technologies seem like magic. And one of the highest compliments that you could pay a product, and I pay this compliment to Zoom, is that as a user, it's intuitive. I don't need to think about the compression algorithms, the buttons are where they should be.
Yeah.
I just press record and I rely on the service to do magic in the background. You're making the magic happen. Talk to us about some of the things that a consumer or a user of Zoom don't appreciate that are very hard technical problems that you've solved.
So that can be traced back to what I did when I was a graduate student in Beijing's Tsinghua University. I was
MIT of China.
Not MIT. They claim they're better than MIT. So
MIT is the Tsinghua of the United States.
So at that time, I was working on speech recognition with a very simple goal. This is the most natural communication mode for every citizen, whether you are Chinese or not. For Chinese, it was even harder because the keyboard was designed for Western language. You have to convert into pinyin. So it's actually harder. That was 40 years ago. I never stopped working on the same problem. I believe this is really going to change how people interact with AI. So when I was on the Microsoft, I helped to lead Microsoft team for the first time in the industry, reaching human parity in transcribing conversational speech. This was in 2016, around that time. Now, I'm even more excited to share with you. We deliver the Zoom AI services. We have the Scribe API. This was validated by Azure OpenAI Services. We are on top, once again, when transcribing English. This is the product API validated on the leaderboard. Among all the proprietary API models, Zoom offered unmatched quality. That just speaks on the conviction and the leadership. Our CEO, Eric Yuan, really had impacted in every form of the company.
We've made so much amazing progress with ASR.
So I would say that is one of the hardest problems.
Yeah.
Because people have accent. I spend my time in Scotland. I have a Chinese accent. When we studied the accent impact, it turned out Scottish English was the hardest to recognize. The second hardest was Chinese accent. I got the combination of both. And now actually I can converse with Zoom AI Companion. That speaks on the stress test I had for all the people creative working in Zoom.
It seems like after 40 years, we've made so much progress, and probably a lot of users would say, the capabilities of AI to do auto translation and noise compression, or noise detection, and the technology has come so far. But as technologists, and certainly as an expert like yourself, you would probably agree there's a lot more innovation up ahead. What are some of the hard problems that we haven't solved yet?
So I think if you look at the whole chain from conversation to completion, you need a host meeting. Zoom just works. You need to transcribe audio into transcription. Zoom Scribe API powered up Zoom closed captioning and AI Companion. Just works. Of course, just like human, with some strong Scottish accent, you may miss one or two words, right? Then after that one, we have deep reasoning. If you take this speech technology for customer support, there's a really famous benchmark, what we call how-to benchmark. They measure the interaction in terms of customer support. Once again, Zoom AI is a SOTA, is on the top tier. So from speech recognition to conversation management, understanding how to engage with customer, that will combine the language self-learning adaptation, how you apply agentic system design. We're also in the forefront. If you want to actually move forward a little bit, the real IQ ceiling is the humanity's last exam. So Zoom is able to federate the frontier model, very much like a CEO is trying to assemble a team with multiple people working together. The outcome is better than each individual. Zoom federated approach to AI apply the same philosophy to bring Gemini, Anthropic, OpenAI all together working as a team. the outcome is actually better than each of them. So on Humanity last exam, just before the Christmas last year, the team delivered a major Christmas gift to the community. Zoom, for the first time, performed the Humanity last exam better than the leading model at that time. So if you look at the whole chain, from conversation to completion, you also need to really perform agentic search. Agentic search, as Gemini 3 Pro define the best search capability. A different frontier model, they have a different strength. Anthropic is very good at coding. OpenAI is very good at general reasoning. And Google Gemini is very good at web search. So when Google launched Gemini 3 Pro, they defined the deep search QA agent benchmark. Once again, with our federated approach to AI, we offer the SOTA, agentic search. So in this whole chain of each individual component, Zoom has matured the muscle to deliver end-to-end experience to be unmatched. We just need to really work together with our partner customers to help people from conversation to completion. So that capability of each individual is already there. So in Silicon Valley, in terms of agentic AI, people are now using the term harness engineering. That transformed from early days of prompt engineering to context engineering to harness engineering. That reflected the journey, how the agentic AI application community embraced frontier models. In the early days, people just wanted to optimize how to prompt. Now they realize that the rich context is important. Now people realize, wow, it's not just about rich context. It's how you manage everything else beyond frontier model. So when Zoom introduced federated approach to AI 3 years ago, we already took that systematic approach. We brought a frontier model and our own small model all together on the most important workload. That is AI meeting summary. We delivered the frontier model accuracy with 20x cost saving. Did you hear me? Competitive frontier model quality, 20 times more efficient.
How'd you achieve the efficiency gain?
Because we took the federated approach, essentially practice what the harness engineering is about 3 years ago. That was in production in AI Companion 1.0. Now with the frontier leadership position on speech recognition, our competitiveness is even stronger. So that 20x saving is just amazing. But on the agentic retrieval, we are 3 times more expensive than frontier model offered by Google. But we are 20% more accurate than Google's Gemini 3 Pro. So you can see the spectrum from cost saving to absolute stunning quality improvement. There's always a cost and accuracy trade-off. Among that broader spectrum, you have here 20x more efficient, about the same as the frontier model, versus you're 3 times more expensive, but you're 20 points above the frontier model. We have that harness engineering control to deliver the flexibility to meet the needs of customers. That is the muscle we have matured in the last 3 years.
Where we sit right now on the show floor of HumanX, it feels like about half of the companies here are building features that should be a part of Zoom. When you think about what to build and what are the hard problems that Zoom will always uniquely solve, what's the problem space that you will always own? And then where do you think there might be room for some other kind of features masquerading as companies to exist alongside Zoom?
I think that this is a very healthy ecosystem. I will be very worried. Zoom is working on something that nobody's working on, right? So the fact that a lot of people are working on meeting notes, it's a good sign. That means this one is definitely one of the pain points of our customers. What we want to do is we support the ecosystem. We embrace the open ecosystem. Let's say the amazing search capability meeting summary we have, we can deliver that in Zoom Workplace. We can deliver that in My Notes. That can perform the transcription meeting summary, not only in Zoom meeting, but also in Google Meeting, Microsoft Meeting, or in-person meeting as we do today. So we are fully open to embrace the ecosystem. And we also support other companies. They are having the plug-in. So we are selling the pizza. You have Zoom Workplace, you have My Notes. They're taking our Scribe API with an amazing speech recognition. They actually provide a flexible plug-in to the meeting system. So Zoom, as an industrial leader on hosting conversation, we're providing not only pizza, we're also giving them beautiful pepperoni, tomato sauce.
When you think about the future of Zoom, is there a time when I, consider myself a power user of Zoom, will my pre-meeting work and my post-meeting, you talk about C2C, will I live in Zoom as much for pre-meeting and post-meeting work as I do today for my meetings?
Mm-hmm. So I want to really share my personal story. That's probably the best example. How I organize my CTO life. I use My Notes, no matter if I'm in Zoom meeting or Microsoft meeting or Google meeting or in-person meeting, I always record. And I also use agentic retrieval to index all of my chat, all of my documents, whether I'm using OneDrive from Microsoft, Google Drive from Google, they're all indexed with AI Companion 3.0. So that's why I want to check with you. Are you using AI Companion 3.0?
I'm not, but
Now it's
it can
time to
easily
turn
be
it on.
converted.
Good. So because I have created the memory layer of what I do, now even my boss sometime made fun of me. Eric said, what happened to your memory? Now you have Photoshop memory. Because almost anything he asked me, I use AI Companion, I deliver the immediate answer. That's 80% accurate. I cannot promise it's 100% accurate. I told Eric, hey, I have no memory as good as AI Companion. Here's the answer. Do not fire me if I screwed up. So far, my role is still
right. You're still here.
Oh, it's still here. So I'm just telling you that is the real story. My memory has increased substantially. I can almost find anything instantaneously. This is the benefit. Not just that. For my performance review, it's written by AI Companion. I share the CTO newsletter on a monthly basis with the company about the progress we are making. It's written by AI Companion, but I have to let you know, we have to spend the time to do editing. It's not 100% accurate, right? So, but that already saved a tremendous amount of time. I just feel I can probably, work 3 days a week because of that productivity lift. But my boss will not let me do that, so I'm continuing to work.
So I should
7 days a week.
Ask Eric to give you Thursdays and Fridays off.
He already talked about AI in the future will give everyone extra time, right? I think this is coming. Here, we are really trying to help to transform the company. I think it's an exciting time. It's hard for me to imagine I will just stop working because there's no better opportunity than helping Zoom to be more successful.
It's part of the human condition. Work is a celebration.
I just
we
enjoy
do as humans.
every minute of what I do. People probably feel I'm too intense. That's because of the passion and the love in what I do.
We are recording this on audio only, but I can tell the listeners that you, in fact, are very intense.
Thank you. With my Scottish Chinese accent.
I don't detect the Scottish in your accent, but I'm going to trust you on that one. I'm sure your Scottish accent is better than mine. I got to get you off the hot seat, but I got to ask you one last very important question. So you are not just a technologist and a 40 plus year expert in the science of what you build here. But you also are a people leader, and people look to you to think about, what skills are most relevant, not just to Zoom, but how you hire. And I'm sure you hired a lot of great people at Microsoft. How is your philosophy on what makes a great team different when we know that a lot of the technical skills that we would have hired for in decades past are perhaps less valuable? Maybe they're getting commoditized. What are the attributes of the humans that you need to hire that you can't get from AI writing code?
Well, that's a great question. I think what I love is really people who have conviction, passion on what we do, can work as a team to really get the work done. That's number one. Number two, people should have the skill. They should be able to learn new things because AI changes so fast. Without that, the math foundation, ability to learn new things is going to be tough. And the most important, people should have taste and judgment. So those are the three things.
How do you select for taste and judgment?
I
would say it's hard to actually do in practice.
I do not know if that can be quantified. That's why we have very rigorous interview process. At least in my interview, judgment and taste, that sense of product and the sense of judgment is very important. That's years of experience, right? I believe in that when AI is reaching this amazing capability and for humanity as a whole, the judgment and taste is what we have. We can tell if this is a hallucination or not, or if this is a good idea that will help humanity moving forward, or this is really, not something we should embrace. But that judgment is the most important qualification among all.
We're all in this together, and we're all trying to answer that question together, and it's not easy to answer, and the answer's changing frequently.
But the judgment and taste will remain to be humanity's most important skill.
Well, as we both learn more, you're going to come back on the podcast, and we're going to have more versions of this conversation. But absolute pleasure, XD.
Thank you.
Thank you for hanging out.
Thank you, Dan. My pleasure.
Good work.
Yo, it's the end of the show, time to power it down. AI's the sis, but humans wear the crown. Team Human in the house, got the vibe so clever. Dan Turchin from People Brain making us better.
We learned about AI for humans. We're ready to conquer the future. That's all for now.
See you next time.